So I'm actually recording this the same day the video is getting uploaded, which is Thursday the 4th of June. It is literally 10:30 a.m. in the morning. And I'm going to talk about the reality of being a creative business owner, because people see the photo shoots, the performances, the videos, the events. What they don't see about most creative businesses is you are one person doing 10 people's jobs. And people think you're just a photographer and a videographer, but you're not. You're a full-time editor, social media manager, salesperson, accountant, marketing manager, website manager, content creator. You're literally 1,000,001 jobs on your own. And I want to just talk about the realities of being a creative business owner, because everybody sees the highlight reel on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or even YouTube. But I kind of want to just talk about the reality of the day-to-day life of being a creative business owner. So let's get into it. Now, by the way, this is not me putting up a video saying, oh, please feel sorry for me. I chose this, I love this, and it is fantastic. But I think it's always good to bring you lot along for the entire experience and tell you how I'm feeling in real time, because it's, as we all know, being creatives, we never do just one job. And for me, I'm a photographer, a videographer, I'm still performing, I'm now directing, I'm teaching, I'm also choreographing, I'm hosting events, and I'm doing YouTube. And not every single one of these can get full-time attention, which they require. So finding the balance to give each one the time that it needs and to still be consistent is pretty exhausting. And you could say, well, Evan, don't do it then if it just exhausts you. But I love it. But I just think the reality of it is actually quite boring, because you are always on. There is always a problem that needs to be solved. There is always looking for the next job in all these different fields. There is editing those jobs. There is, like, if I make a YouTube video, that's at least 4 hours to 5 hours of editing afterwards out of a day. And as well as doing everything else on top of it, like E98 STUDIOS, we're always looking at ways to expand, creating new packages, updating equipment, and expanding in that. And then as a performer, you're trying to update your headshots, trying to update your acting reels and get a job. And then teaching, you're coming up with new choreography every week. And directing, you're trying to put a whole show together. And then hosting, you're trying to put that together. And then YouTube, you're trying to come up with fun concepts. It is the best thing I've ever done, despite what I'm saying, but it is, I guess, just stressful. I want to go back to the point of, I was talking about earlier, of boring. The reality of trying to be successful is that you spend majority of your time on your own, in your own thoughts. And when you're trying to put on multiple hats for multiple things, you are constantly switched on, but you're on your own, and it's very self-driven and it's very self-motivating, which anybody who is successful in their field will tell you, it's you against you. And I think people again see that highlight reel on Instagram, but the reality is I spent 10 plus hours today alone trying to work on one thing or a few different things, and then I haven't even gotten to the thing that I actually need to do, because these other things needed sorting as well. And where I'm sat right now is probably where I spend most of my time. And I think all business owners can relate, and especially creative business owners, is that you're always thinking. I try to balance as much as I can work and then having time off and being switched off and being with the people I enjoy being around. But you can never stop thinking. Your brain is always working, because you're like, well, I need to do that tomorrow, I need to do that. Okay, I have this thing as well. Oh, I'm after forgetting about this, I was meant to do this a week ago, so I actually have to do that now. And you can write down all your lists. That's what I try to do every day at the start of my day, is write down a list so I can just see it visually, so it's not noise in my head, which I would recommend. But I think just trying to keep it all going and actually switch off and go, no, think about that tomorrow. It's easier said than done. And finding that balance to literally just go, but no noise. I feel like I'm rambling here, but I think everyone that runs a business knows that it's a never-ending cycle. You solve one thing and immediately there's something else. And especially when it comes to money. And this is something I've always been like, would I talk about it? Will I not talk about it? I think it's something you actually need to talk about. Money is a strange one when you're a business owner, because anything you earn, especially in my case as of recent, has to go back into the business. So if you want to expand, if you want a better camera, if you want better setup, better lighting, you have to spend money. So any gig you get has to go back in to reinvest into your business. So a lot of the time you actually are doing a lot of work, but for no money. Yes, you got paid for it, but do you actually see that money most of the time? No, not really. And that's great because you're earning and you're getting to upgrade your equipment and it helps, absolutely. But a lot of the time it can feel that you're doing all this work and you have nothing to show for it yet, and trying to create the consistent work so that you have enough to reinvest but also keep yourself going as a human being and pay all your bills. That is a tricky thing, I think, as a creative business owner, is that, and I think just business owners in general, that when the money comes in, you have a decision. You can put that in your back pocket or you can reinvest it into the business to grow and hopefully get more work. So a lot of the time it feels like you're doing all this work for zero pay, even though you got paid. This feels like a massive therapy session with all my subscribers. But I think another thing is like you feel sometimes you're not moving fast enough, and there just isn't enough hours in a day to move everything forward at the speed you want to move it at, because you're doing so many things and you have to have so many hats on throughout the day because you're trying to run all this stuff. And some parts of a business, we all know this, we're like, how do you do this? Like, how do you make professional invoices? How do you keep a website going? How do you run analytics to see what's working and what's not working? You're learning multiple different job skills, which is beneficial because you get to understand everything and it is exciting in that regard. But sometimes it can feel you go one step forward and 10 steps back because there just simply isn't the time. And I've noticed that in particular with making YouTube videos. I love this and I love YouTube and I love this platform. I've always loved it. I've always been obsessed by YouTube and I've always wanted to do YouTube. But when you're also running multiple different businesses and then you somehow have to go, right, I need to actually set aside 8 hours minimum to 10 hours to actually film one video, which sounds outrageous, but like if you want to put any creative editing on your videos or you want to film anything exciting, and you have to have the time to do that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it can be a little bit frustrating that you can't move the speed you want to do. You want to have all these things going out at the same time and things here and things there, but you are one person and you can't possibly be split. And at this moment in time, we all know when you're starting off as a creative business, you don't have the resources to hire somebody to take that load off. So you've got to push through and keep going. So I think as well with this video, I decided to put it out just to see if any other creative business owners feel the same way, which I'm sure they do. And it's just one of those things of like, you're not alone. You know, we all feel it. Everybody has to start somewhere. But I think sometimes you can just feel like there just is not enough time in the day. There's also another thing of there's never really a finish line when it comes to being a creative business owner, because you get that job, you edit that job, you send it away, you got to find the next job, and you're trying to find the next big job, the next big job, the next big job, the next big job, and you're never really finished. You could do a really big gig, which I did recently, and it's like, right, that's done. Okay, now I've got to go get another one or a bigger one because I need to expand. So it's just never really done, so you can never really switch off, and that's the kind of catch. And like I said, in all my aspects of being a performer, you have that trying to get the next job. You have doing YouTube, trying to get the next video. You have running E98 STUDIOS, which is a photography and videography business, so you're trying to get to the next event or a photo shoot or videography session. You're trying to get the next one of that. You're trying to get your next presenting gig. You're trying to get the next everything. And it's just one of those things, the clock keeps moving and it's just a never-ending cycle, and it's getting comfortable with that and just saying, yeah, just keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And it's crazy when I look back on everything I've done in such a short space of time. It's ridiculous. 2026 has been crazy for me in multiple ways, because I was being an actor for years and performer for years, and obviously I still am, but E98 Studios this year opened up an opportunity for me as an actor, which never would have happened if I was just doing acting. It never would have happened. So I think this world that I'm creating for myself is starting to form and mold and actually help each other out, which is those little things that like keep you going and go, right, you are on the right track. But yeah, I just sometimes feel like it is never ending, which it isn't, and obviously you don't want it to because you enjoy it. I'm gonna stop rambling now. That is today's YouTube video. It's probably not what you were expecting as a subscriber, but on my channel, I want to bring everybody on this journey and show the reality of this journey that I'm on and be as authentic as I possibly can. There is some really cool videos coming to the channel, which I'm filming next week. I've actually put aside time to now film them, and they are really exciting. So there is exciting stuff coming up on the channel. I've said that in the last few videos, but genuinely, we are cooking up a storm. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It's free, it costs you nothing, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. It's a big challenge, but one we can possibly achieve, I think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another YouTube video.